So you wanted to change your oil and oil filter, opened up the user manual, and tells you exactly what to do. Change the oil filter, everything's fine. But then you want to change the air filter. So you're like, okay, let's open up the user manual and take a look. When you open up the user manual, there is nothing regarding how to replace the air filter. So I had the same problem, and I wanted to understand how to take the fairings off without breaking anything, because I have a very bad experience in the past with Honda fairings. Everyone knows these little clips things over here that used to break. So I was looking around Google, YouTube, nothing, can't find anything about replacing the air filter. I just didn't want to break anything. And since there's no video, I said I'll just make my own. So here we go. First of all, you have to start, well, you're already here because you changed all the oil, you changed the oil filter, so all the bottom fairing here, the lower fairing is off already. There are these little little screw plastic rivets that sit right over there. Look like this. These are the plastic rivets. Just unscrew them, then pull them out. So you have 1, 2, and on the other side you have 2 as well. Another place where you have these rivets are right over here. You have one here and one over there, and same thing on the other side. Now we have these screws here that we need to take off as well. So we have this one here, screw right over there next to, right on top of the signal light, and one on the gas tank fairing here. I need to take this one off as well. Now we also have these 2 plastic rivets that need to get off as well. And then we have this big one here that holds everything together. I'll be taking off the screws and then I'll be right back. Forgot to mention that there are these 2 bolts as well on both sides. Okay, so all the screws are off. Now comes the tricky part. So I'm pretty sure that most of you remember the older Honda CBR600RRs up to 2012 models. You would have to kind of, there are like these 2 clips over here that would go into the gas tank fairing. You'd have to kind of like bring it upwards and then back, and these would break, and it was a mess. So I got this one right, but the tricky part is just to know how to do it and where you can pull and how much you can pull. That was what I was concerned of at the beginning. So you start off with pulling this apart. You just simply pull it apart. There's this guy over here. It's just like a pressure clips kind of thing, so you can just pull it out. Once you have this all loose, the next thing you need to do is pull back. You need to pull back and down a little bit. So just pull back and down, and you are free to go. That's it. There's your side fairing. Let's do the other side. Same thing, pretty simple. All the screws are out. Everything's nice and loose. This is loose, everything's loose. You separate this here. A little force. A little click, that's good. Now, you pull back and down. And it's off. Okay, now for the gas tank fairing. First thing you want to do would be to remove this big guy over here. So once you got this big guy out here, you have these 2 these two wings here that connect to the rear cowl, you need to unclip them from the rear. So you basically pull it out. So again, you pull, kind of tug on it a little bit downwards, get it to flex a little bit, and then up. Okay, now to removing the gas tank fairing. We have this big guy over here. I have this little plastic screw rivet. Same thing on the other side. I'll go and undo those. Okay, both screws are out, both plastic rivets are out. Now let's pull up the gas tank fairing. I need to kind of wiggle it because there's this, just like in the older Hondas, there's this like rubber gasket around here. So just have to kind of wiggle it off. That's pretty easy. It's off. And now to get to the air filter itself, we're going to need a longer screwdriver. So I have this one here and I got a magnet on it just so that I can catch the screws. So we'll start with taking these screws out. We have 6 screws around here, so there's 3 on this side and then 3 on that side. We'll go ahead and undo those screws. You can unscrew this ECU retainer. Then we can unplug this guy over here. And this is out of our way. So this is the stock air filter. We just cleaned it for now because we've ordered a free flow air filter. We're going to install that later on, but it was filthy. So many bees and bugs, you have no idea. So you basically unscrew these 2 bolts here, screws over here. Then you kind of need to jerk it out. There you go. There's your air filter. That's filthy. Need to get a new one. That's it. Now assembly is pretty much the same. You need to shove it in here. Just give it a good shove. And then you'll have the screws lined up already. Please don't over tighten these screws, okay? Because this is going into a plastic housing. These are metal screws in a plastic housing. So many times have I seen that there's nowhere to screw these screws into anymore because they over tighten them so much that it's stripped, totally stripped. Okay, now we'll get the cover back on. Do a little cleaning while it's out. Cover sits on just like that. Okay, so now we can get the retainer back on. As you can see, there's one way to put it on. It fits right in there, like this. Because sometimes people put it on backwards, and it doesn't make sense. It kind of bends over here. Get the first screw in. Do not over tighten these screws. That's it. So everything's in. This is in. Let's go ahead and put back these 6 screws. There you go. I try to do a crisscross pattern, so I'm not tightening them down all the way, just until the point where they kind of stop a little bit, and then I tighten them down in a crisscross pattern. And now I just need to replace everything back, and basically done. Okay, make sure the gasket is closed over here, sitting good. Right here it's not good. Have to play with it a little bit. Now we need to clip these back, so first we get it on the top. and then on the bottom it clicks into place. Now we can get all our plastic screw rivets in. Keep everything in place. Get our big screw back in here. Okay, now we'll assemble the mid fairings. Get the signal lights connected. Now, same process. Make sure to get this side in first. Okay, get that all flush in. Now you can work here. Pull it out. Make sure everything's in. Use some force here, and it's in. There. I'll do the other side. Get signal light. Now make sure that this guy here isn't bothering you. Get this side in nice and flush. Okay. Now, I'm going to mess around with this side. Pull it back a little bit. Make sure this is inside. Push forward and in. That's it. Looking good. So there's just one screw that's a lot longer than the others. And it's this one here. So this one goes right in there. Just longer so that it'll be probably just be easier to catch here in the back. So that's it. We're done. Not one screw left behind, no rivet, nothing. I'm happy. Didn't have to buy a service manual, And now I hope this helps other people that have CBR600RRs from model 2013 to 2016. It's all the same. I need to give her a wash. She'll be just fine.